Guys, welcome back to another episode of Before the First Cast with your host, Calvin Herndon. Guys, I hope you guys have had a great week so far. Happy Friday. You guys have made it. Guys, I don't know if you guys have seen the temperatures here around close to home here in Virginia, or really around the country. It is very hot, very, very hot. And today we're going to go over some tips and tricks for anyone who's fishing in this heat, so you can protect yourself and you can protect anyone else that you're fishing with. So, guys, let's jump into it a little bit. I wanted to do this topic for a while now, especially during the summertime. We have a lot of people who fish, during the summer days and in the heat of the day. And I actually have a personal story that goes along with this podcast today. And it goes back to when I was a little kid. I used to love to go pond hopping, fishing, just fishing anything I really could. Um, in any body of water that was near me, I would love to go fish. Um, and one day, it was during the summer. It was probably in the 90s. And I was going fishing. That's just what I did in the summer when I was off of school. I would go pond hop, go fish the river. Um, but no one told me the importance of actually hydrating, wearing protective gear when you're fishing. So I would just go in shorts, t-shirt, wouldn't drink a lot of liquid or drink a lot of water or anything to keep me hydrated because I was just a kid. I was like, "Oh, I know best. I know what I'm doing." Um, and this day in particular, I was going to a local river we had to fish. And I got down there. I was, you know, just fishing along, minding my own business. I start to feel kind of lightheaded, a little nauseous, um, to the point where I had to sit down. I was like, I can't stand anymore. I was so weak. And I got that tired sensation. So what I was experiencing, now that I know what it is I was experiencing heat exhaustion. Um, and I actually had to go to one of the local urgent cares to get fluid because I was really dehydrated. And they said you're lucky you made it home, that you didn't pass out somewhere on the road because you've you're super dehydrated and um, you were losing a lot of fluid through your sweat. Um, he's like, I'm really surprised you made it home. So from that day on, I have kept this really, really close to me because having that experience really affected how I really plan out my fishing day, especially in the summer. Um, so I know you guys are curious. So, what are some of the ways to keep yourself protected during the summer heat? So my first suggestion and my first thing I always do is I make sure I have plenty of fluid, whether that's water, whether that's Gatorade, Propel, anything with electrolytes, because when you're fishing out there in the heat, every time you cast, you waste some sort of electrolyte and energy. Usually, what I will do is I will fill up a 64-ounce jug, or I'll get a gallon of water at the gas station before I jump on the boat, and I will sip on that most of the day. Just make sure I'm drinking periodically while we're fishing. Or I'll also either get a Gatorade or I'll get a Propel water and have that to refuel my electrolytes so I don't get dehydrated. Um, Another thing is I didn't realize how important this was until I came against this. Is always have some sort of energy source on the boat for your body, whether that's food, whether that's like an energy bar or like a protein bar, because if you're dehydrated and you are not eating properly like you should, you really can't fish to your best abilities. You're really lethargic. You're really like tired, and your thought process and your ability to think on the fly kind of leaves you because you're hungry and you're dehydrated. So that's the first thing I do. I always bring water, always bring some sort of electrolyte rebuilder, and I bring food. Um, the next thing is the way I dress. The way I dress for a hot day, and I know it's going to be hot and I'm going to be in the sun for 8 hours, is one, I always have some sort of hat on. Doesn't matter what. I have the straw hats. I have the can't think of what they're called, and I have my regular trucker hat. Another thing I will have is I'll have a neck gaither on, which will help with keeping your neck and your really your jaw and your chin from getting sunburn or windburn. Those things are great. If you don't have one, you should definitely get one. Let's talk about a little bit what I'm wearing to for a shirt. I love a PS or I love a sun shirt. I'm very fair skinned, so it's really easy for me to get sunburned. I know a lot of people like to go out there in their t-shirt. Um, I really like long sleeve sun shirts. One, the UV protection, and two, you don't get. Most people think, well, wouldn't you get hot in a long sleeve shirt? No, you actually don't. It's breathable and it protects you. And most sun shirts have a hood on it, so that's extra protection for your head. Um, just to you know protect your head furthermore. Also, get a good pair of sunglasses. Um, yeah, I know all the fishermen out there are like, well, I have polarized lenses. Yes, that's great, but wear some sunglasses or get some sunglasses you'll be able to wear all day while fishing. Um, that are comfortable for you because I've had a ton of pair of sunglasses that are not comfortable or they will not stay on my face when we're running down the lake. Get you a good pair of sunglasses. My next suggestion is for pants. A lot of companies nowadays make fishing pants. Um, they're lightweight. They don't like stick to you like jeans would in the summer. They're flowy. Um, a lot of guys like to wear shorts. That's great, but you can also get sunburn on your legs. You can get windburn on your legs when you're sitting down on the boat. You may not know it, but your legs are getting burnt. Um, I also in the summer I will wear some sort of. I like tennis shoes. I do not like flip flops or Crocs during the summer. I've spent way too many summers with sun poisoning on my feet um, because I will put sunscreen on them, reapply, and then never look back. Because when you're fishing, you're not thinking, "Oh, my feet are getting burnt." And yes, I see all these people that fish on the boat with their shoes off. I'm not gonna be here and be the safety police for you guys. You guys know, if you're doing everything right to keep your skin safe, you know, then you shouldn't have an issue. It's those people that think, "Oh, I'm gonna be okay," is the ones that I'm talking to. You know, you guys think you're okay, and then come to find out, "Oh, I'm getting really, really burnt." Well, and most of the time, your sunburns don't come until later in the day when you're sitting there, just hanging out, and then you feel it. So let's move on to another factor. So a lot of guys, consider the shade. You don't need shade while you're fishing. I would definitely tell you take breaks during the day. Go find you a shady spot on the lake and hang out there for a couple minutes, maybe 30 minutes so you can get some shade and you're not directly being hit by the sun. Um, it'll cool you down. It will definitely hide you from the sun. Also, another thing that most people don't think about: use the water to your advantage. If you need to jump in, dip in, dip your feet in to cool down, by all means, do it. It probably feel refreshing. Um, but if you're a tournament that you can't get out of the boat, I understand. But if you're just fun fishing and trying to fish for fun, yeah, take a swim. The boats have a ladder in the back for you to get back in. Like that's what they're made for. I definitely would recommend taking a swim as well. That's just me personally, honestly. I would much rather be cooled off than smoking hot. Also, this should be going. My last couple things should be kind of just a. You should do it anyways. We all know that skin cancer is a real thing. So please, please wear your sun protection. Wear your sunscreen. And I'll tell you a story. When I go out on the boat, I have two types of sunscreen. I have usually the baby sunscreen that goes on my skin because I'm super fair skinned, and I'll have the stick that goes on my face. And not alone, I'm also wearing a neck gaither to keep me from getting burnt on my face. I also have a pair of sun gloves that I always wear. Always wear a pair of sun gloves. Whether you know, I like them all year round because I don't like getting wind burn on my hands. I like to be able to take my gloves off and be like, all right, cool. I didn't get wind burn. Um, but I can't stress enough, guys. Bastards are notorious for not putting sunscreen on, and you know, I don't want guys coming, back 20, 30 years from now and say, "Oh, I wish I would have done this," or "I wish I would have put sunscreen on." Or I would have I listened to Calvin on this podcast and used sun protection of some sort. Um, but again, I'm not going to be the safety police. We're all grown. We know what's appropriate and what's not. Um, and my last thing is recognize heat exhaustion or symptoms of heat exhaustion. Um, Guys, there's been so many times on the water where I know I haven't drank enough water, or I know I haven't ate enough, or maybe it's time to apply that sunscreen again. If you're feeling cramps or like you're nauseous or you're feeling like you're gonna faint, guys, you need to get out of the sun. You need to go to a cool place, cool down. You know, everything. You just need to recognize the signs of heat exhaustion because that's a real thing. It's a real and it sneaks up on people. People don't realize it, but it will sneak up on you. Um, and before we get off here, I want to go over some water safety things for the summer. Guys, we beat this over the head whenever we talk about fishing in the summer, or if you're on a boat, you're in a kayak, always wear your life jacket. Your life jacket's going to save you. Yeah, it may be uncomfortable to fish with, it may be annoying at times, but it's going to save your life. Um, that is a staple. If I had a boat, or if I still have my boat, there would be a life jacket in it. You will be wearing it, um, or you will not be fishing with me. Another thing that people don't think about is also during the summer, which I really didn't think about it until just now, but check the water temperatures. Even though it's summer, some lakes and rivers or any water impoundment, their water temperature could still you could still get hyperthermia in water in the summertime. I know that shocks some people, but it happens. It really does. Also, lastly, beware water hazards. You know, swift current, drop offs. Just be aware of your surroundings, really, to be safe in the summer. There's a lot of stuff going on in the summer. There's a lot of people out in the summer. Um, just be cautious when driving your boat, riding your kayak. Be cautious of people around you, and just be safe out there. I mean, Guys, there's been so many accidents here lately that you've seen online, um, that could be prevented. Um, I can't stress enough. Please wear your kill switch as well. Um, and I hope this helps you guys. I'm not trying to be the safety police here. I know we're all grown. We all make our own decisions. But if this podcast can keep you safe during the summer, that is my goal. Um, Also, if you like this kind of stuff, if you like this kind of video, please put a comment, like, subscribe to the Basscast Radio, share it. We love the shares. That's how we get more following. Um, but guys, please take what you've learned here and apply it this summer when you're on the water and catch us some big fish. The summertime's a great time to do it, guys. Until next week, we will see you later.